What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling? We on the third day of the fast. Oh, how many people still going strong? It's the last day. Peace, brother. What's going on? What's good? What's good? What's good? What y'all got for me? I got a little time. We gonna have to set up an event. I got my brother Dwight Howard. We was supposed to be one of these days. I'll set it up. We was supposed to be going live to discuss the flat Earth situation. So y'all gonna hear about that soon, sooner or later. No, that was the temperature in Dallas. I'm not in Dallas. I'm in Atlanta. Yeah, I ain't see you, Ron. DM me again. I ain't see you. I don't know. Sometimes they just don't send me people shit. Not in the request either. All praises. I don't know what you talking about. You talking about my sad speech. I don't know what you talking about. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Do I believe in the hollow earth? I don't believe. I don't know. It makes sense. Um, and for connecting the dots from people like the Wintu tribe and stories about Rainbow City, Richard Byrd, and all these other things, I could see the possibility. But other than that, I just don't know. I've heard about it, though I could speak on it. Shabbat and Argot, I could speak on that. But other than that, I'm not sure. I just don't know. That's the thing I think more people should start to realize. A lot of these things we just don't know. Most of these things we just don't know. We can speak on them, but we don't know until we experience it or see it for ourselves. I have seen that. 106 degrees. It's been getting hot everywhere. It's a lot going on with the sun right now. My thoughts on Turtle Island? What about it? You just want to know what I think about it? All right, ask your question. I haven't. I haven't seen that. Yeah, I'm sure. So that's why I never really I don't jump to any of these type of conspiracy theories and things like that, or new ideas that just explode or stuff like that. I don't do that. If I don't know, I don't know, and I test people. I ask them questions to see what do you even know what you are talking about. And that's why a lot of people had an issue with my line of questioning, because I don't want to play any. Listen, we're not playing games. Do you know the answers? You know, most of the time they don't. What's going on with the sun? You got a lot of solar activity. A lot of solar activity. These things that they refer to as coronal holes, active spots on the sun. In the past, actually, 2-3 days, they become geo-effective, so they send in a lot more energy, which charged particles toward the sun. And it's something that they've been watching for a while. And I told y'all, as soon as we did our fast on the 17th of May, that's when the sun started getting active this year. If y'all remember that. And it wasn't something that I was just like, oh, look, let me watch the sun. No, they don't do it like that. They have to detect it as it comes. So it started then, and it's still, getting active to this point. And this is one of their 11-year cycles. So every 11 years, this happens where you have solar maximum activity, uh, switches in the polarity of the sun, and it pushes a lot of solar energy toward the planet. So those of you who have been fasting, you may feel it. You can feel the pole shift, not just of the planet Earth. And a lot of people may not know that the sun has a pole shift also. You understand? It happens more frequently, but it's still a pole shift. And when that pole shift happens, you understand, that energy affects the bodies around it on a different level. Okay? So being that this is an 11 year or one of the 11th years on the cycle, okay, you're experiencing a lot of solar activity. And they're watching it because it's getting hotter, which means it's interacting with the atmosphere to a higher degree. You know, and one thing that they're looking out for is, could this be an issue, being that there's a deterioration of the magnetosphere? Meaning, could these CMEs or coronal mass ejections reach the planet in such a way that it's not just aurora lights or northern southern lights, but you have a repeat of what happened in 1859, where there was a shutdown, where, you know, they had to deal with electrical issues and things like that. Well, now you have the whole world being ran on these transformers and these electrical circuits and things like that. So these power lines and power grids are going to be overcharged if that happens, and it'll shut everything down. And all it takes is one day to send the planet that runs on it into oblivion. So that's what they're worried about or concerned about. So yeah, it's not saying that it will happen, but they're definitely watching for this month, leading into September. And yeah, they're prepared either way it goes. But one thing that they're concerned about is mass civilizations going into panic and civil unrest and anarchy, because things get shut down, and it takes years for them to build these things back up. So it'll be the end of their world, or the end of your world, if it happens like that. So every 11 years they have to watch for that. So they're just watching for it now. What lasts no longer than 30 minutes? Yeah, you know, I started to pay attention to that last year, earlier in this year, that you had Wi-Fi disruptions. You know, the Wi-Fi would be working and it just stopped working. But that's why I tell you, we want this to happen. We want the sun to come closer. We want judgment to happen. The ones who standing on that great side, we want it to happen. Everything that's supposed to occur naturally, we agree with it. I'm not trying to fight the sun. If the sun said it's time for us to go, it's time for us to go. You feel what I'm saying? If the sun says, all right, shut this world down, it's time to shut this world down. You feel me? Everybody else is afraid. I'm not afraid. I want it to happen, if that's divine order. But you know your government ain't going, so they're fighting it. They're going to war with the sun. Righteous. Because if you're supposed to survive it, you will survive it. What else could be doing it if it's not the sun? Broad daylight all over Canada and Detroit. What else could be doing it if it wasn't the sun? What should be the main focus of the chosen? If you chosen, answer the question. If you chosen, answer the question. I don't know. If you notice, I never came and just, I don't know, bro. They were telling people that they got it, they was gonna die. Remember that? They were telling people it's indefinite, it's inevitable that people who got that was gonna die. I never came out here and taught that, because I don't fucking know. So I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what's in it. I don't know any of these things. And anybody who's saying they know, they don't. Unless they're a doctor or unless they worked up at Pfizer. Unless, no, they don't know. It's another one of those things. Chemtrails are real. Look up contrails, CON trails. Look that up. It's hot, exactly. Yeah, I could tell. It's at mostly sunny. Somebody's 106 degrees, mostly sunny. Do you really got to say that? They're like saying it's not. It's hot out here, and it's not cold. Yeah, nigga, we know. We can tell. They talking about some mostly sunny. It's all love, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, humid. Exactly. It ain't just hot. That shit is holding. Sometimes heat come do what it got to do, then leave. That motherfucker is not leaving. It's chilling on the block. But it need to get hotter. We should be experiencing 120 degrees or higher. We should be experiencing 130 up to 140 degrees. That's what we should be experiencing to get this shit to move how we need it to move. That's really taking you back to the golden ages. You know what I'm talking about? Righteous. GP, what going on? I see you, bro. I appreciate that, Tiffany. We're getting close to that August 12th date. So y'all know I'm going to be asking on the 13th. Where everybody at? Niggas telling me my soul had to be right. Did anybody watch Oppenheimer? Anybody went to go see that? Cause some make me want to go. I want to go see it, but it's like it's really a nerd movie. So it's some shit that I probably had to just sit and watch for myself. Did anybody see it? The Musk music video. I don't know if I like how that sounds. What Musk music video are you talking about? When everybody's saying like at the point the internet gonna go bye bye. On the 12th, a lot of people was saying that people was gonna be getting picked up and leaving the earth and stuff like that. And I was just like trolling them because no, but I just think that it's crazy that people still trying to push some shit like it's some spiritual woo woo shit. Yeah, I'm still gonna get this shot. I'm doing this fast, and I was a little under the weather too. No, I'm gonna watch Oppenheimer though. What child trafficking movie? You seen it? It's just crazy how like where y'all think y'all going? Where do people really think they going? Every conversation I ever heard about people possibly leaving the earth from a religious standpoint, from wherever you try to, bro, where do y'all think y'all going? I'm trying to figure out how all these people who don't even meet the criteria is talking about they finna leave the earth. No, bro. No, 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 no. There's a lot of child trafficking movies. They gonna be off for a few days. Somebody they came back to grab something. We just came back to get something, so don't even start. Don't even do it. Oh, y'all came back at the same time to get something. Nah, man. Bro, it's always a pickup, bro. Every year is a pickup. You don't know that? Every year they picking somebody up. Have you done any studying on the Sybil's? I would love to hear you talk about that subject. I have. But what do you want to know about it? Can I expose the CIA? I don't know. An example of a Sybil would be shown in the movie The Matrix with the Oracle. But they had certain orders where the sisters, the women, which they didn't speak about them a lot because, again, you got history being dominated by the patriarchal side. But the women were able to give prophecies also. And so they started to form their orders, the Sibylline orders, where which their wisdom became hidden. They would teach and speak and give prophecies on what was to come. So you can go back as far as Tefnut, Ankh-Nunet, Isis, Isis, these beings who their orders were set up to teach, give the prophecies, but people wouldn't really know that it was them. That's why you have certain things like the riddle of the Sphinx. What is the riddle of the Sphinx? Well, the riddle of the Sphinx within itself is who is the animal? What is the animal? And most people thought it was a dog, but it wasn't. And the being that it was representing was actually a woman, not a male, but she was hidden. That's why you have Amun, Ura, but people don't know you have Amunet. So Amun is the male, but Amunet is the hidden one, the hidden female. Understand? So that Sphinx is a woman, a female cat. Okay, one of the heads of the Sibylline orders. Okay. So basically you're referring to women who played a large hand in pushing forth the information that caused for all the esoteric sciences to develop and unravel, all things like that. Meditation of the truth to come. What do you mean by that? When it comes to the Anunnaki, I'm trying to see the connection and where they come in at. Were they here before them or during that same time? Who? The Sibyls? Who are you asking about? Before who? I haven't read the Urantia book. They Clone Tyrone. It's a good movie for one. I think we should start there. I didn't hear a lot of people start there. It was a good movie. Yeah, the Anunnaki were here before the Sybils, but you also had what you would call Sybils who were Anunnaki. You understand? And that was Erich Kagel, Ninti. You look these names up, Ninti. All right? These were women scientists, which you would say priestess here, okay, which becomes Sybils or prophets. Many people don't know it, but when you say priest, you're saying a scientist, but they didn't say a scientist back then, okay? And scientists had the ability to make predictions and prophecy or augury, as the Romans would call it. So, yeah, they were way before it, because you have to deal with the fact that if we're speaking in terms of the Anunnaki, that they played a role in fashioning or grafting and crafting what you call human beings to this day. You understand? So they definitely would have been here before any of the Sybils who came after the originals. But They Clone Tyrone was a good movie. I like Jamie Foxx's character. It was funny. Yeah, I thought it was real interesting that the one who was passionate about getting everybody out and getting everybody home was the woman, Yo-Yo. I would say study the Hebrew language or the Hebrew alphabet for one, because that's where it would have started. How did them two Anunnaki females get birth to the first two humans, and then we time jump to all these humans? What you think? What two Anunnaki females? I have no idea if the moon is a reincarnation center. I have heard of Yakub. No, I don't. She didn't have a clone. Right, underestimated. They underestimate the woman. Why do I create music? To help change the world. When I was 5, I decided that I was going to fight. Just being able to see how everything played out. You know, how I was seeing how they were still coming with attacks on the people, and how they were, you know, doing what they were doing with Tama Ray and Malachi York. And I was able to see that up close and personal, and how it affected people. And I decided I was going to fight at 5 years old. And I started rapping. That's when I wrote my first rap at 5. And I was telling my Umi that I was going to use rap to change the world. And I kept rapping and grew up doing it. Grew up making the music. And I'm changing the world with it. So it's to help fight and change the world for the better. I wouldn't say the woman can't be duplicated. tune to what? I didn't see what you said. Yeah, but they leave out a lot of that story with the Yakub. There's a lot that's been missing from that story for a long time. Because if you ask people, how did he create the white race? Did you not pick up on the fact that you were speaking in terms of albinos who still held some type of melanin dominant gene? Not white. So when you saying albino, then yeah, you would be saying a Caucasoid with Afro. But when did we ever say he created the Caucasoid race? An albino is just a slip of genes to say that the epidermis lacks pigmentation. You know? But you still have the afro, you still have the big lips, you still have the nose. You know, you still have the melanin dominant gene present. Only thing that would have changed that moving further would have been geography and atmosphere, environment. And that would have taken thousands of years. So, no, he didn't. Nowhere was it said that he created the white race. But that's how it's become interpreted. And they try to say that he created the white race to put all the evil of melanin dominant people into a race of beings. I would say that's some bullshit because we still have evil in melanin dominant beings. So that's not true. Right. Because you wouldn't just be able to do this. That's a whole step. It's dealing with genes. To go from melanin dominant to melanin recessive, it takes generations. So they doing it with just one transformation, and of course it ain't gonna be just easy. Same way if you would, you don't even have to look at it from a scientist standpoint of being in a laboratory. If you take a melanin dominant person and a melanin recessive person, somebody woolly haired melanin dominant person and a flat haired melanin recessive person, you mix them in, that child is still gonna maintain some type of melanin dominant gene. They'll still have some type of curly hair or fro. You understand? And if you wanted to take that child and mix them in with a melanin recessive person, then they'll probably lose some of the curly hair because that gene isn't as dominant as it was a generation ago. But it takes 3 generations to weed this melanin dominant gene out. You understand? As far as the dominance, it'll still be present some type of way, but it won't be dominating. So if that's what they mean, then that's that. Right, but you make sure that you're not getting stuck on that because that's just the skin. That's just the skin. You can have people who have that type of skin, right, who may not have a melanin dominant gene. Like you've met Hindus who have brown pigment, right, which appears to be melanin dominant, but then you look and see if they actually have the melanin dominant gene, and they don't, which is why their hair doesn't grow out how your hair grows out. Their lips don't form how your lips form. You understand? So it's a lot of different factors than just the skin. Whose numbers? Bro, I don't know what you talking about, bro. 44 and 55, what they mean? I don't know. You can give them meaning. I don't know what they mean. You can look it up. You can go angel number 44, angel number 55. I don't know. Do I think Yakub was real? It's possible. It's possible that the story has some truth to it. How hot did the temperatures in Egypt get up to? 140 degrees. Right, yeah, you can look up angel numbers. Or you can give them your own meaning. What was Inky really? What do you mean when you put the really there? Do I produce my own music? No. I used to. But no, I don't. Yakub was a scientist, supposedly. A whiz kid. Does anybody remember about his parents? What was the story about his parents? Because everybody talks about Yakub. What was the story concerning his parents? How did Yakub get here? I don't think Jamie Foxx is cloned. No. The reason why people are saying that this is 6023 instead of 2023 is because Malachi York broke down that this wasn't the year 2000, it was the year 6000. So if we were going based off of what Malachi taught, then yes, this is 6023 according to how their calendar would have played out if they wouldn't have been playing around with time. So the answer would be yes, this is 6023. Who created the years? I don't know. What video? Yeah, like what his. But see, if it says big-headed scientist, that's coming from Malachi. That's coming directly from Malachi York. They didn't have the story until he broke it down. From the Danako tribe and the Tero tribe, where they were told not to mix, and they did it anyway, and that's how Yakub came out, how he came out, with a big-ass head, right? And his parents got exiled for doing that. And he was upset for his parents that they got exiled. And he became, vengeful and started fucking around with shit. Yeah, they were two different origins, exactly. According to Big Headed Science. But that's what I'm saying. Who would have taught that if it wasn't Malachi? Because where else you could have got it from? The NOI didn't have it. They didn't have the whole story. So I don't know why they don't give him his credit, because he finished the story for him. The 3 sons coming in 2025. No, I just think it's convenient for people to just start saying stuff gonna happen in like the future to get people leaning on the edge of their seat and shit. But like nobody don't be down knowing. Because then you turn around, you became a part of some shit. You don't even know what you're a part of. Bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, people being feminine and because listen, ain't nobody gonna make you be feminine. So I don't care if they want you to be feminine, that don't mean shit. They're not coming for our sexuality. They coming for your children's sexuality. Ain't nobody. Your sexuality is your sexuality. Ain't nobody coming for it. You're not you're not being threatened unless you might be confused about your sexuality. I don't care how many times you see Madea in a dress or Tyler Perry, Big Mama's house. I ain't never think maybe I should put on a dress. Maybe I should be like them. That never dawned on me like, oh shit, it's niggas in dresses. Maybe I should be in a dress. That ain't. I don't care. So they not coming for our sexuality. They might be coming for some of y'all niggas' sexuality though. If you just don't know what your sexuality is. But when you know what your sexuality is, bro, you can see a nigga in a dress every day. And it never gonna be like, bro, I should put on a dress. You know what I'm saying? You can know it's people out here in homosexual relationships. You ain't gonna never wake up and say, maybe I should date a man. That just don't. It just don't. That's not the main agenda they pushing. You ain't no child. You're not in danger, bro. Unless you are. All I can tell you, bro, is just maintain your sexuality. If you like women, go grab you one right now and date them. If you scared that somebody is going to take your sexuality from you, I would say just exercise your sexuality more. It don't matter about their agenda. I don't wake up worried about nobody's agenda they pushing. Only ones who will be having to be concerned about that is the children. But, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that mean they didn't fall, though. That mean that they already had tendencies. You understand? Like, you don't fall. There was already tendencies there. There was already something there. They probably already like that shit. I'm different. Well then, okay. Well then, if they grown, let them be grown. I don't concern myself with that type of stuff, bro. What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? That's a waste of time. I can't be concerned with what grown people are doing with their sexuality. Thoughts on Bobby Hemmett? He wasted a lot of people's time. Wasted a lot of people's time. And most people will probably never understand that. East NPC getting strong on white niggas hiding is at an all-time high. What's the suggested donation to get your books? Can I also have your email address, please? I don't have a suggested donation. You can send whatever you want to send. DM me. Send me a DM. How did he waste people's time? Well, because people think that's a spiritual teacher. But all he did was just remix the Knights Templars information. You know? Because, okay, give me one Bobby Hemmett student right now that can change the world. Give me one Bobby Hemmett student right now who can reach the people that's not in the conscious community at all. Give me one Bobby Hemmett student right now who has it in their ability to actually alter the condition of planet Earth. Bobby Hemmett himself can't do it. So he wasted a lot of people's time. And people thought they were going somewhere. But then when I talk to Bobby Hemmett, they all, it's like a lot of these people are exactly the same. They were pulled into the dark side. They don't know why they're there. They're just there. They started vibrating and resonating with 666 because this man told them it was the carbon. So because he told them it was the carbon and also convinced them that because it was carbon, it meant black people, they think that 666 is supposed to be us, so that when the Bible is speaking about the 666 and all these other things, that this supposed to be us. And you ask, okay, where are we going with all that information that you think is reality? They have no idea. He wasted people's time. Not to mention that carbon is not just in black people. It's just not. Never was. No, I never heard of God, Gabler Mester, however you say it. No. I heard about Bedell. But Bedell is a student of Malachi York. Young Pharaoh, an agent. I do my own research. Y'all conscious folks throwing each other under the bus. I'm not one of the conscious people. You in the right place. I'm not one of the conscious folks. There's no each other. One day you're going to understand. I keep trying to tell y'all, I'm not with that group of beings. Whereas Rashad Jamal Mason, I don't know nothing about it. Are you a student of Dr. York or no? Yes, I am. Why does who say evil is good? Six is the body that you must die to. Y'all take an oath not to share the info you learn as a Mason. So how are you able to educate us on certain things without repercussions from the order? Respectfully asking, brother, I'm curious. Because I shoot a nigga in their face, somebody gonna do some shit to me. That's why. That's why. Only way that works is if they scary. I ain't scared of nobody. Walk up on me and like you gonna do some shit to me because I done told the secrets. And I will defend myself with everything in my guts. So only repercussions is repercussions that are successful. If you unsuccessfully repercuss, that's on you. I hope that answers your question. I'm dead for real. I told y'all that nigga was in trouble. Didn't even know he was in trouble. The elder stepped in and saved you, boy. You was in trouble talking about you, I don't want to hurt you. Oh, I said, oh, nobody's going to get hurt. Nobody's getting hurt. You didn't know how much trouble you was in, bro. What? They think it's like, bro, they only do that. They do that to chumps. They don't do that to chumps. Like, if you a chump, then they can, oh, you know, you getting DP'd. They try to run this shit like a game. They can only do that to folks who ain't, you know, no, you're not, no. So the repercussions you think is repercussions is all of that is fear-based. Because of the oath and obligation is what you're really trying to say. Of never telling. Having your throat slit, your tongue ripped out, your head removed from your body. Niggas is scared, but you ain't finna do nothing to me. So I know you be like, oh, if y'all can't say that, how you doing it? It ain't got no repercussions. I'm telling you, these niggas ain't stupid, and if they are, I feel for them. I feel for them in advance. I would tell you to read the book, Man from Planet Risk, RIZQ. And if you're looking for that particular answer, you can find that on page 36, 37, and 38, I think. But it's dealing with a time warp. Yeah, it's all love. That's why they be trying to play me, too. They'll try to play me because, like, that's why I tell people just pay attention. You know, pay attention to people's responses. I don't have to talk too much. Or if I'm going off on the handle, I can teach, say a million words a minute, and it'll be loaded with all kind of things you need. Or I can pace myself and just speak. but I'm always putting out that green light information that if you listening, it'll connect. So when I say I became a traveler at 16 and I took the oath at 16, and I'm telling you that I know what the oath is and I can recite the oath, and then I'm telling you I also don't give a fuck about that oath, that's on them. They got to deal with however they feel when I say that shit. But me taking an oath does not mean I have to obey the oath. Don't you understand that? Like, it's all games. You swearing under oath, or affirming on a Bible in court, or as you become president, that shit don't mean nothing. It don't mean anything. And let me tell you something. They think I'm stupid. So I'm going to tell you how they think I'm stupid. At one point in time, I would respond to the brothers. When they would say, where you hail from, brother? I would respond to them until they started trying to sun me with it. They started trying to sun me like they'll use it as a way to sun a nigga, like as I started paying attention when I first came out with the book, Who Knows the Secrets, right? And they had two of the Mason brothers come in, and they were asking me questions, and I was like, okay, look, I'll entertain. What did I say that? Because the first one spoke and said, this person is lying. Don't trust this person. Nothing he's saying about my fraternity is true, and da-da-da-da. I said, okay, what did I say that was incorrect? And he said, well, brother, you said you were 16. The youngest I heard of is 18. And I was confused because, like, why the fuck should I care about who the youngest was that you heard of? And if you're a traveler, you should know one thing. You can't speak for another man's travels. You can't. So I'm lying because the youngest you heard of was 18. Well, if you talk to the nigga standing next to you, you might think the youngest was 21. No, I was 16. Well, brother, da-da-da-da-da, you said this, you said that. Nothing that they were saying was anything that I said was false. They can never say anything that I talk about or teach about the order itself and the sciences thereof is false. They can't say that, because that would be saying that what we're taught as Masons is a lie. The only thing people going to have to wrap their mind around is, yes, there is one who took the oath and intentionally did not give a fuck about keeping the oath. And he did it on purpose. I was 16. And I could show people, I tell people, go back through my videos, go back through Phase 1 production page, see how I had this big ass bucket hat with the Masonic emblem, see how I got a song called Caution, see how I did a song called My Vision, where I say, the black and white chessboard floors and the tools that I had to have. Okay, if I was trying to play and one of them was like, you trying to become this internet teacher, bro, I didn't have any followers. I was pushing this shit out and I had no listeners. You feel what I'm saying? I had like 90 SoundCloud followers. And I was putting this shit out. From the Letters from a Watcher mixtape up to this point. The Letters from a Watcher mixtape start off with me, the song Thief in the Night, where I call it Alarm Clock, the Thief in the Night remix, where I say I'm a 360, a big deal. You can go listen to me saying it. It's on SoundCloud, Phase 1, The Done. I'm a 360, a big deal. All the songs on that tape was me speaking Masonry. You go through all my songs, as a matter of fact, it's some type of science in that shit. You feel me? So it's like, no, bro, I didn't start doing this shit this year and I didn't read this Malcolm Duncan book this year and came out and tried to teach, nigga. But here's what I'm saying. They think I'm stupid because I know what they want to do. Now, because it's gotten so heavy and I'm saying way more than what they think we supposed to be saying and shit like that, they want to accost the Grand Masters who brought me through. They want to step to them. And for that reason, you'll never know. Some people who know me know. But you'll never know now. I'll never tell you unless I put it in a book or something and hide it or mention it in a book. But I'm telling you, if it ever comes down to it and I explain it to them or put it out, you'll be able to see that every time these folks tried to play me and said I never came up under any lodge or anything like that, I could show y'all. One day I might. I could show y'all the lodge. I could show you where I was in the music videos that I grew up shooting. I could show you how that's right on the same street where that lodge is. I could show you how when I would say twins, when I would say the twins brought me in, I could show you literally who they are. You feel me? So they always try to come and say that I don't have a grandmother and things like that. But they can't say that I'm saying anything is false. And all I'm telling you is I don't mind them trying to play it that way. Because one of them tried to say I was only a book mason. They tried to say I'm only a book mason. I said, okay, cool. Well, let's say I was only a book mason. What did I say that was false? What part of the book did I read that was false? And they never say any of that. You feel me? They can't because it's all true. It's all true. But some of these things, you listen, the things that I be telling people, you ain't going to read the shit in no book. The shit that I done came and realized and figured out through the sciences, you don't get in a book. And how do I go into detail? How do I know that if you fail the first time around, you got to come back? How did I tell people I literally failed the first time around? Because, okay, you can only notice if you walked, right? Well, I come in, they strip me. You know, they take one of my shoes, they lift up my pant leg, they lift up one of my sides of my shirts, they blindfolded me, right? I go in, we walk in, they talking to me, they teaching me about, you know, the certain steps that I'm gonna need. They giving me the app, you know, or everything I'm saying is gonna be shown. But when we get to the part where they have the Grandmaster present, right? And I'm there, and actually I wasn't by myself. I was with somebody else who was named Omari, right? Who actually he appears in the 9 o'clock music video on my page, Phase One Productions, the Phase One Productions YouTube, not the Phase One. But and that's interesting. His name was Omari too. But when you get to that point, they got the Grandmaster there. You're sitting there, and they taunting you, right? Because the first thing you're supposed to learn is don't open your mouth. Don't say anything. You can't say anything. Do not speak. So they taunting you. They saying, yo, you can speak now. Listen, you can talk now. Don't be no follower. Don't follow the nigga next to you. I got the Grandmaster right here. You can talk. You can talk. Speak. You can speak. Go ahead. Talk. Why you won't talk? Oh, he ain't ready. He ain't ready. You won't talk. Go ahead. What's your nickname? What's the nickname we gave you? Go ahead. Tell him your name. Listen, the Grandmaster is right here. He right here. Remember, you got the blindfold, so you ain't seeing nothing. So me and the other Omari is sitting there, and I know he thinking the same shit. I'm thinking like, I don't know, nigga. This shit sounded a little convincing. Like, I think I might could talk. But also in your mind is you can't talk. So he like, yo, you can talk. Say the name. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna make it through. So we both talked. We both spoke. What's your nickname? What's your name? Tell him your name. Caution. All I hear is shit shuffling around. The nigga was mad. They taking the shit off. They took my blindfold off, took his blindfold off. The Grandmaster was leaving. And then we get up and we go outside. And they standing out there. And he was like, well, you should come back in 2 weeks. I said, what happened? They said, you failed. I said, how did I fail? They said, you weren't supposed to speak. They said, you were almost there, but you weren't supposed to speak. They said, but you know what? Most people don't pass the first time. So I didn't pass the first time. Did I read that in the book? Yes, I was 16. I'm right here. I was 16. But I'm saying, did I read that in the book, brothers? No, come on now. So like, I get it, but stop playing me. If you got an issue with it, just stay out the way. But if you know what I'm on, and you know this is what it need to be, well then, just support, and just know you weren't the one that was gonna do it. Okay, so then just support, and just realize that we had a time for revealing too. It was gonna come. To tear down the veil, pull the lid back. But I'm asking that. Like, okay, did I make that up? Because nobody don't know nothing about that. You can't read that in no book. And I just told you the story. It wasn't no shit that it wasn't vague. You know? But I wish I knew who, I wish I knew Omari, Instagram. I can get it probably from my sister though. But I get him on here and we could talk. I literally pull him on here and we'll talk about how I didn't start traveling by myself. He started traveling with me. He didn't keep going. Actually, what's the song? I ain't never released it. But I said a couple niggas travel with me, but niggas lost their way. Right? I didn't start traveling by myself, so I have people who were there, witnesses. You understand? So what did you need to do to climb the ranks, or is it not like that? It is like that. It just depends on who you are. Okay, I could tell you something. Like, you had something called the shock of interest, right? The shock of entrance, where you were supposed to get cut on your left breast, like on the left side of your chest, and they use some type of razor, right, or a knife or whatever. And if I wanted to just play, like I read this in a book, because you could read this in a book. If I wanted to just play, like I read this in a book, and I got cut on my breast, right? Then you be like, now you can side-eye it. But I'm telling you, they told me I ain't have to go through that. What they did was with the side of my shirt that was stripped, they took their finger and cut my chest, allegorically. You feel what I'm saying? They didn't actually cut me. But they said this would have been an actual cut. But they didn't make me go through what most people have to go through. So it was easier for me to travel than it was for most people to travel. So again, it's just like everything else. It depends on who you are. But they got approval from my Umi to walk me through. And then they stepped to me and said, we want to talk to you about the square. These were twins. Everybody in our neighborhood knew who them twins were, what they were on. You understand? Why was it easier for me? Again, they went to my Umi. And when they had to explain to my Umi some of the things that, people have to go through to be initiated, my Umi went with half of that shit. You feel me? So, hell no. Nah. She'll still let me travel, but nah, he ain't doing half of that shit. So, with those things, I was shown. Those things were demonstrated to me. I still went through it, but I didn't have the pain of the shock of entrance. That's why it's supposed to be a shock. You get that cut, and it's like supposed to shock you, a rush. Nah, they just took their finger and wiped it across. You feel me? I made sure I completed it, though. But it didn't take me as long as some people, and I didn't have to go through as much. Like the Annie room, when I was in the Annie room, I was only there for like 3 hours. But some niggas be in there 14 hours. I ain't had to sit in there that long. 3 hours seemed like a long time to me, though. Seemed like a long time. Was just you. And if you don't know what the Annie room is, it's like a room that appears to be dark. Because remember, you blindfolded, so you're just sitting in this small room. It's dark. There's no sound, no communication, no nothing, just you. You don't know when they're coming back, so there's anxiety, anticipation, and all kind of stuff. But I sat in there for like 3 hours. And they came and they knocked 3 times on the door. 1, 2, 3. You're not supposed to answer. Then they open the door. They come in and talk to you. They taunt you, actually. You ready to give up? You ready to give up now? You've been sitting here for 2 hours. Because we can leave you in here. We don't want no punks. Well, if you're ready to give up, you just give up. You thirsty? You can't have nothing to drink. You can't have nothing to drink, so you're just going to sit here. But he's stupid. You know how long you're going to be sitting here? But you can't talk. So it's all mind games. I'm telling you, this is literally what I remember. You know, it was a little fun though. What are some books that inspired me to write my books? Uh, Malachi's books. We got the same writing style and his teachings. I don't know. The fast ends at 12 a.m. So you got about 5 hours. This one was sweet though. Probably because I was under the weather and I had to be in bed most of the time anyway. But it was smooth for me. Yeah, it ends at midnight. Yeah. What do you mean by branches? Like degrees? It depends. Simply though, there are three. There are three. 1, 3, 5, or 3, 5, 7. Simply. And it's only being that when you're saying 1, 3, 5, you're talking about a journey. Yeah, Scott is right. Their number is 13, which is 1 through 3. I mean, with 13 would be 1 through 3. Like 19 is 1 through 9. But it's really 3 levels. And everything else from them 3 levels on up is what a traveler decides to study. You understand? Or you call them honorary studies. Or you might cross over into the holy place and become a shrine. But it's all about learning how the world works around you. I don't know about Amrik. I think the biggest problem that people were having that I was 16 though. That might have been the biggest problem. And that never really dawned on me back then. Like, that it was going to be an issue for people. Because I had heard that you had to be 21. But for some reason, the grandmasters who brought me through, they didn't say nothing about that. They never said anything about me being 16. You know. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for them. I think it bothered them, for one, is because people like their orders to be how their orders is written to be, for one. If it say 21, it's supposed to be 21 type shit. Because they really just like their shit to be how it's written to be. Another thing is, what makes, like, when them niggas was at the Sabian event, and they was like, what make you better than me? You think you better than me? And it's like, it was weird because I never said nothing like that. They asked me, why didn't I come up under the Nuwaubian Grand Lodge? I said, what? They said, why? You didn't come up under the Nuwaubian Grand Lodge. I said, because I didn't have to. He said, you think you better than us? I'm like, no, bro. First of all, the Nuwaubian Grand Lodge is new. For one, he made that shit for y'all. So y'all can stop crying about being Masons. I know the whole story behind that shit. But that's not the only way to become a traveler, to go through Malachi's shit. And I'm glad I didn't go through their shit. Why? Because the only reason I would ever have become a part of the lodge is if Malachi was out. If Malachi was out here overseeing that. Because them niggas full of shit. They were jumping niggas in, all kind of stuff. Like, bro, what? Why is niggas getting jumped into masonry? What are you doing? You're trying to gangbang. They're trying to gangbang. So they were like, but they said, but you're Prince Hall, right? You're York, right? I said, no, I'm not. I'm Scottish, right? Which is another thing that blew their mind. So everything they asked me though, and what's so crazy, y'all, is when they asked me where I was hailed from, I answered them. Because I'm thinking, okay, we at this family event. You know, it's cool. I'm talking to these elders over here. These brothers just wanted to know where I was traveling from, where I was hailed from. Okay. I gave them the answer. They didn't contest it. That wasn't their issue. Their issue was I didn't come up under Nuwaubian Grand Lodge. That was their issue. And then they were trying to tell me I had to take the jacket off because I ain't come up under the lodge. And I'm like, well, that's unfortunate because I ain't taking shit off. I'm sorry to inform you that you've been misinformed with who you dealing with. I actually was confused a little bit. I'm like, what about me gave them the impression that they were going to tell me to take some shit off and I was going to take it off? I felt disrespected. You got to take that off. Oh, shit, bro. That's unfortunate because no, the fuck I don't have to take nothing off. But the point is, you know, it make them have them type of question like, oh, he think he better than others because he started younger and all this. And I'm not even on that type of shit. I was on some, I'm about to get in here, figure what all this shit about, and bring it to the people. And if I'm lying, then why, as soon as I start traveling, did I start putting it in the music? As soon as I started traveling, I started putting the sciences into the music when I was 16 years old. As soon as I started, y'all. I didn't wait till later on. As soon as I started traveling, I started. I got a song on my Phase 1 The Done SoundCloud. It's called Danny Delilah. It was actually from one of my peoples who I went to school with. It was a female who I ain't had no money to get her nothing for her birthday. But we was cool. I did a song for her birthday. Right, which I thought was cool too. But the song itself, if you go listen to it, right, that song had a lot of the sciences in it, the Masonic sciences in it. You know, so I don't know if I can remember the lyrics. But yeah, I can't remember them. I said shuffle it. I don't know. World blowing in my dreams. She in the cut with all black. You don't know nothing about that. I go to war for them naps. Real woke, no naps. I keep a light on me. I keep a halo around me. Girl, don't you doubt me. Too many tornadoes around me. Either way, the song talks about secrets. And I said in the song, don't tell nobody my secrets. Only you know. But if you go listen to that song, you will hear it. Because in one of the verses, I said, you know I got to be cautious. Right? And that was just the name. Everybody had it. And one of my teachers, you got to believe that, or you got to know that my teachers was asking questions. Because they see me walking around with all the masonry shit on. I got the gloves. I used to go to this burning sand store in the West End. And as soon as I walk in, you got to know they had questions. Like, who is this young nigga coming in here talking about some, can I get one of the emblem hats? But they would sell it to me after they asked me a certain question. They would look confused, but they would sell it to me. And you know, you ain't just gonna be in no burning sand store and not be a traveler, no way. So they had it. It wasn't just that. They had the Greek frat paraphernalia, Eastern Star shit was in there, all of that. So I would go to the mall and buy the gloves. I used to walk around school with these Masonic gloves on. They were white gloves with a Masonic emblem toward the wrist. And I walk around school. So a lot of my teachers were Masons. So they would start asking me questions. He said, hey, what's that? You know what I'm saying? And then I start responding to them. And they walk up to me, give me something. I give it back to them. And they're like, but you're 16. I'm like, yeah, but I still, so I would sit down with them and we would talk about the movables and immovables and all of that, the smooth and rough ashlars. We would sit and talk about it. And they would ask me up to the point where I say, look, I have my name. They gave me my name. And they say, what is that? And I say, cautious. And then they just would have this little nod. They shake their head, you know. And even when someone like you had the JRTC officers, who a lot of them were Masons, it was one time where I came in earlier on before I knew some of the information because I had just started, and I had the emblem on. And they were, as soon as I came in, we used to walk through these metal detectors. They're like, "Yo, what's that?" You know what I'm saying? You a traveler? And I say, "I am," to say I am, but I am would mean initiated Mason. They say, "Okay." And then they were asking her, but then one of the brothers who was a chorus teacher, our chorus teacher, he stepped up and grabbed me and put me behind him. And he was like, I got him, right? And it was like, okay, because some of the stuff I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I had just started. Literally, it was fresh on me. But he pulled me to the side. He was like, you ain't supposed to be wearing the emblem, and you just started. You feel me? And I'm like, well, why can't they didn't tell me? They didn't tell me that. They going to get my passport. They got my badge. You know what I'm saying? Why I can't wear the emblem? They said, well, normally that's for Master Masons. But he took me under his wing with it to the point where even when I got to that point, you understand, he was there if there were any questions. You feel what I'm saying? And I respected him for that. So if I had questions, I could ask him and he'll give me the answers. You feel me? So that was my chorus teacher, my band teacher, the bucket hat that I had in the 9 o'clock music video. I left in the band teacher's classroom. I came back to get it. It was gone. I couldn't find it. It never dawned on me who class I had just left it in. So that was in 2017. I wound up graduating. 2019, after I was doing some work up at Carver, I was walking to the bus stop, and he seen me walking. And he picked me up to take me to where I was going. He had a red truck. I get in the truck. My bucket hat with the Masonic emblem is sitting in on his dashboard. I said, "Oh," I said, "That's my bucket hat, ain't it?" He said, "Yep." He said, "It's a good spot for it too." You know what I'm saying? It was a joke because even as I was, coming up in school and walking around with that fat ass emblem on my jacket and all kind of stuff, he would ask me certain questions. He still was skeptical about how I was traveling at 16, but I was answering all his questions right. But when he saw I left my hat with that emblem on it, he took that bitch. And that nigga was like, "Shit, it's a good spot for it too." I said, "Yep, it is." I let him have it. But I'm not too bent on even wearing the emblem and stuff like that anymore. Or I walk around with it to this day. But I'm not too bent on that type of shit now. Niggas made it lame, really. Trying to gangbang some shit that's supposed to change the world. If you have Masonic sciences, you can change the world like none other. And y'all turned it into some gangbanging shit. But yeah, that's the bottom line. They were upset about that. Who is the most high? It depends on the situation. When you're speaking about the highest in rank, it depends on the situation that rank applies to. You're talking about the highest as far as height, it depends on the situation that height being the highest would apply to. It just depends. Now, for all of y'all who want to be travelers and Masons and stuff like that, I'm not telling you to break oath or none of that stuff. I'm just telling you, I've been on a whole different one because I used to look at that emblem when I was little. I saw it and it just resonated with me. I always felt like this was my shit. I always felt like I was the one who introduced to the world Masonry. I always felt like that. Yeah, 357 or 753 or 135. But I always felt like that. you know. So as soon as I got my hands on it, I was like, oh yeah, I'll take that up off you. Scott is right. That's another thing. Come on, y'all. There's a lot of ways I could have made this up. Why did I say Scott is right? Come on now. Most niggas I knew came up Prince Hall, York right. Wouldn't that have made more sense? People think that would have fit the narrative if I was trying to create a narrative. Say York, like Malachi York. See, I'm York right, like York. Nah, nigga, I came up Scottish right because that's what them niggas were. They weren't York. They were Scottish. It would be the most widely accepted. A lot of people think if you black, you supposed to come up under uh, Prince Hall. I ain't give a fuck about none of that shit. I was just like, let's just start walking. I ain't care about none of that. It's still the same science. Yeah, it's not just you. But again, I was feeling a little sick, so I spent a lot of time with myself, just resting. So it went by easy for me. There's people eating all around me though, but I ain't feel like eating. Matriarchy, it needs to come back. They say that the Scottish got their science from the Moors. I actually call bullshit on that though, because Masonry actually goes back to the Greeks. And if you want to say that the Greeks got it from the ancient Kemetic people, then yeah, that makes sense because that was Tahuti before Hermes. But the development of what Masonry is to this day comes from Tahuti. You understand? What the Moors, that's why, and now we had this conversation because I asked, I said, what are the sciences that the Moors learn that the Masons don't learn? And nobody could give me the answer. One of the reasons why they couldn't give me the answer is because when you have the Moorish Science Temple of America operating, and you have the Blue House and the Red House, and you have the lodges, the blues, and all the things that they've been doing, and what they've been learning, all that shit is the same science. It's all the same science. Basically, it's out of the darkness into the light. And everything in between, the process in between. So a lot of Moors are saying that the Caucasian Masons learned from them. And then I asked them, what did they learn from you? They don't know because they didn't know. You never became a Mason. So you don't know what they learned. I think everybody claims to be Tahuti once you get a little wisdom. I think it's just a habit that niggas have because Tahuti represents wisdom and stuff. But that nigga Rod Hayes is not Tahuti. No. But it's just like, that's why it's an attribute for a lot of people. It's just wisdom. But no. Lodges make their own rules. I don't know what you mean by that. I find it interesting that I was sick for these 3 days. And it seems I'm not going to be sick tomorrow. I think it was 2020 when I wrote my first book. Do y'all remember? Was it 2020? August 4th? When I wrote Why? Or released Why? Or was it 2021? Nah, it had to be 2020. Because all these other books came after that. Yeah, it was 2020. Or was it 2021? I don't know. 'Cause I think I wrote like, how many books did I write in 2021? It was a lot. I can't remember though. But either way, we're coming up on one of the anniversaries of the first book. If you want to get the book, DM me. You have to send a donation to Play for Change Cash App and send your email with it. But DM me because I didn't copy and paste that for this live. I just got on here. Masonry is a way of life. Yeah, you could say that. Okay, Tiffany. Yeah, I grew up around Mason. Yeah, I have sovereignty because I was born. You know, I'm alive, so I have sovereignty. Nobody can give me that or take it away. You may be able to go through Amazon, Tiffany, or go get them from PDFs, or some of the brothers on here have them. You just got to get in contact with me. Yeah, I've been both. I've been an operative and a speculative. Where do you get your research from? On what on what topic? That's only fair as you ask me that question. What topic? I keep seeing people throw up the OK symbol. Is that just for conversation or are they banging on me? I don't know. Shit. I have no idea. I be wondering, do y'all know what type of questions to ask me? The type of things I know? Salam alaikum, Kafan. August 5th? What's all these dates? Niggas just throwing dates. What's happening on August 21st, September 2nd, December the 7th? Listen, I'm right here with y'all. I'm standing right here in the third. I don't know. No, I don't know Spanish. I ain't pay attention in class. Where did you find your tools in masonry? They were given to me. Where can you learn the science of you can't join a lodge? That's a real good question. Read a book. Read Malcolm Duncan. Read the Masonic Encyclopedia. Um, hmm. Study the Hermetic Principles. Read the Three Initiates book. Read the Kabbalion. That's what that is, the Kabbalion. You do all that and you'll have a sharp understanding of the science. Read the Kabbalion by the Three Initiates. Read the Masonic Encyclopedia by, I think it was Albert somebody, Win Pike. Albert somebody. Last name start with a W or some shit. One of y'all probably know. And read the Malcolm Duncan. If you just want to get down to the bottom of masonry and the sciences of it. Yeah. Yeah, wrapping up the third day. I'm up trying to fight this last wave of this sickness recycling through my body. It started on the first, and it literally is about to end. So it had me not even hungry. You know, when you sit, you don't even be hungry. So, but I felt like something else was happening in my brain, an advancement in my brain. A must-read chapter in the Holy Tablets. The Living Soul. I would say The Living Soul. The Human Beast. I was all that shit. The Holy Tablets is just lit. I say just read the Holy Tablets. But I'll say The Living Soul used to be my favorite growing up. The images used to inspire me. Yeah, everybody has grandmasters above us, even the supreme grandmaster, because you have the Gao Tu, which I told you is not a goat, it's the Gao Tu. And people say, "Oh, Masons, they do this with the goat, they do that with." No, look, all of that is games. They don't really do that. And goat is go out and triangulate. You understand? But the real true travelers don't deal with the goat. They deal with the Gao Tu only. And that Gao Tu is great or grand architect of the universe. So everybody has grandmasters above us. Even if you were the potentate or the hierophant, supreme grandmaster, whoever you are, worshipful master, because the supreme beings or being or the grand architect of the universe reigns supreme always. You understand? Or God, as you say. So when they say Masons worship the devil, the reason why I put that in the 13 Masonic secrets, no, they don't. Not exclusively. Some do. But most Masons you know are Christians or Muslims. You know what I'm saying? They actually worship God and believe in God. I don't share lives, so he would just have to be here. Yeah, I just tell people to show up. There was a time where I thought about it, but it's like, no. I just want people to come to class or just pop up. How I feel about shrooms, I don't think everybody should be taking it. You know, I just wish people would just focus for once. Just focus. Let's get something done collectively, you know, with everybody on drugs and shit. Shrooms is drugs now. They get people high. And they just say it's a trip. Nigga, that's the same thing people will say about LSD. Same shit people say about weed. They just say it differently. I don't think everybody should just be taking that shit like it's the new perks. But leave it to the conscious community to miss that. And not even realize that. What do you think they're going to do? They gave angel dust to this generation. They gave heroin to this generation. They gave crack to this generation. They gave, what you call it, lean to this generation and bean to this generation. They giving y'all shrooms. And you don't know? You don't realize it? I'm doing all right, family. I'm getting through. Yeah, it is. It's all right. It's all right. I had just went out not too long ago with an old friend. I had me a drink, a Crown Royal. It was celebratory anyway, but it ain't do nothing to me. It ain't fuck me up. But I don't drink how I used to drink, where I say, okay, maybe Saturdays, Fridays. It's not like that no more. But what we on, I would say you don't need it. So just start there. You know you don't need it. If you want to drink wine, you can listen. Keep in mind this: you can do whatever you want to do. When I say we making changes and going through changes and shifts, keep in mind that you can do whatever you will to do. Now, because you got people walking with you, it may help you. What I'm saying, feel different about it or become more dedicated to something and follow through. Yes, but just remember, it's all on what you will. Right now, if you've been paying attention, the first was to begin a 90-day transformation flight. Right. So for all you brothers, you should know what that means because I already explained it to you. But I also said to you it's going to be 120 days. So just know that 90 days is an introduction. Okay. But it's not just retention. All right. You should be broken off from porn at this point. You should be broken off from porn. And for the 90 days following the first, there is no ejaculation. Okay? And you don't want to just be sitting around the house talking about you ain't finna do this and you ain't finna do that. You don't want to just be chilling out talking about you finna retain. You want to be out moving, exercising in the gym, things like that, so that you can power up and upgrade as you go through that process of transformation. So even if you have from the first to now, I'm telling you that you should begin your process tomorrow, all right, of full on retention. Also, celibacy, but I know that it may not be as easy for some of you who are in like relationships and things like that. But I would say celibacy, abstinence, all of that. You understand? So it's basically tuning in to you. All right? Taking in your water. And when we do our fast, we still be doing our fast. All right? But just know you got people walking with you. But through this whole process of you doing that, and it's already going to be easier because you've been fasting, you'll be rewiring your brain. You understand? So I'm telling y'all, I'm proud of you in advance. And if you feel like failed or slipped up, I say don't use that as an excuse to not keep going. Keep going. But you definitely need to break off of that. It's funny how it's been 90 people in here for a while when I'm speaking on 90 days. Yeah, that's why I say it's harder to explain when you're in a relationship with somebody. I don't know. You never fasted. Soon as I started this fast, somebody messaged me. Somebody messaged me 4 hours in, like, bro, I failed. I was like, damn. I was like, shit, bro, look. They were like, I'm sorry. I failed. Da 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 da. I said, look, bro, you don't gotta be sorry to me. This is all about you. You know, I'm not no. Nah, it's not that. You don't owe me no apology. I'm not some guy overseeing you. You know, it's all about you. If you don't make it or finish something, hold you accountable. At the end of the day, it's literally just you. Literally, at the end of the day, it's just you. It's your thoughts. You know what you are. You know what you've done. You know what you didn't do. Okay, well, then that's the power that you're going to keep. You hold on to that power. I had people reminding me about certain things. You feel what I'm saying? Don't think I ain't never slipped and did this, did that. No. So, nah, bro. That's one thing Pop said. When we're babies, you will slip and fall. Well, okay, well then you figure out, well, why did you fail 4 hours in? You know? Now a lot of people started with us, they ain't finishing with us. I tell you, just look around. Appreciate that. Some people ain't finishing with us. They started because it was hype. Oh, snap, fasting. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be there. I'll be there. You know, but I don't know what made them stop. I don't know what made you stop. Because I never said we was going to stop. Eventually, there's going to be a schedule set where you're going to know weekly what the days are. So maybe every Monday we fast. And every Saturday we fast. You understand? But the point is, you want to take your body through the necessary hell as often as possible. Especially when now you got all these different toxins and things like that your body has to constantly fight. You know? You want to go through the necessary hells as much as you can. But yeah, we're about to be working on a Source music video. I just got in contact with the video. Actually, he got in contact with me. I let him know that I was under the weather, so after I clear all this out, we're going to be shooting that. My homie just told me we were over 200,000 streams, so that's what's up. And 225,000 YouTube views last time I checked. So we're still making progress. That's 200,000, y'all, streams. I don't know if y'all heard me. So thank y'all for that. I appreciate that, white man. Thank you for all your support, bro. Do I need a model for the Source video? Where you located? I don't really think so, but where you located at? Or DM me. Not gonna lie, I feel this fast is a challenge only because it's only water. Personally, I've been using natural fruit juice whenever I'm not eating. Yeah, but you want to feel that challenge. You don't want it to be easy. You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep trying to explain people. Yeah, just DM me. I see you. DM me. You don't want it to be easy. You want it to be some type of struggle. That's how you know something is. It's like lifting weights. It's not always easy, but you lift weights for a week and you start seeing a difference. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, same thing with this. Fasting ain't easy, but you fast for a week. And you see the difference. I'll tell you that 9-day fast got everybody right. Because I know it got me right. Felt like a brand new person. What was a scam? What happened? What happened with somebody's scam? That's why I tell people. Derez was saying he wanted to lose weight. I was like, bro, this how you do it. Fasting. Do 3 days fasting, then do a day of juicing. 3 days fasting, then do a day of juicing. 3 days fasting, then do a day of juicing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do that shit for a month. Here go all the other people. Oh, why would he starve himself? Da 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 da. Bro, it's like you don't even feel like arguing, motherfuckers. Sometimes I'm active. Sometimes I'm not. I mean, you gonna lose weight. That's gonna happen. That is gonna happen. Just, I mean, exercise. Do resistance training. So you know, build muscle. Yeah, just water or no nothing. Like either you could do just water or you can do no liquids, no food. I haven't told anybody to do that though, cause we still got to get this shit figured out the right way. I ain't trying to have nobody, you know, hurt themselves, cause you can't hurt yourself that way when you just do no liquids and no food. You gotta have something, but you can prime yourself to be able to go without liquid. What do you mean by keep my composure? Dolph was recorded to be a real person. Yeah. They wound up trying to turn him into an allegory or attribute or a myth. Breatharians? I don't know nothing about that shit, bro. I don't know what them niggas be doing. Talking about they breathe in to eat. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. Cause like, bro, you never eat nothing, bro. Bro, you never eat nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-mm. Nah, bro. Like, you could fast for a long time, bro, but bro, no water, no nothing, bro. Come on, nigga. Some of this shit be like, okay, that's enough. Turn it off. Yeah, like how do they hydrate? I don't want me no damn breatharian. That shit sound like suicide. That sound like you can't afford food or some shit. That sound like something your parents would tell you to be when they ain't want to go get you no food. Eating imagination sandwiches and shit. They live off prana. Them, they lying like a motherfucker. You can't live off prana. Them folk be lying. Now you don't have to eat a lot. That's a fact. But you go, bro. I can't believe this shit, bro. They really be doing this. You don't have to eat a lot to survive. But when they get to talking about they don't need no water, if you don't come get this glass, come get this damn glass. I don't need no water. You ain't finna down my watch. But I heard about it. All power to them. But really, it's just extended fasting, and they be sneaking bottles of water in their bag. And when you be turning around, they be fucking them bitches up. You ever notice when you turn back around, they wiping their mouth? Yeah, that be that water. Have ever died and came back? I had to think. Maybe. I had to think about that one though. They're valid for the information that they present. Yeah. Just compare it to other things. See how it all ties in. That's the most you really can do because you weren't there. I'm meditating right now. I do study magic. I teach it also. Is young elder information valid? Yeah, it's valid. How did your journey start, Phase? What year was it for you? I was born into this, sister. I was born into it. I didn't have a awakening year. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all. Some of us was born into this. Like all of the consciousness. Okay, like y'all was given a young pharaoh later in the game, right? I grew up under a young pharaoh teacher, who young pharaoh got a lot of his information from, and that was Malachi York. I grew up there. I was on Tama Ray. I was reading the books. I was there. So I never had an awakening year or moment. I always was in tune about what's going on and what's this all about. You know, once a Mason, always a Mason. Yeah, I'm still a Mason. I say just be cautious about it. Transcendental meditation, just be cautious about it, especially when anybody else is conducting the meditation session other than yourself. I'm meditating right now. I'm cooling. I used to tell people all the time, I don't have to be. Most of the time coming up, I wasn't happy, right? But I was at peace. You know what I'm saying? I was at peace. 2000. You saying it was the year 2000 for you? I'm 24. But when you were coming to an awakening, I was on Tama Ray. I was 2 years old, playing in the sand. Hmm. Yeah, that's when the shit started blowing up around that time. The conscious wave started to push forth from Tama Ray outward. yes, AMOM is masonry.